Hello, and thank you for joining me today. I am Christine Dodderwick-Bile, the Director of Arts and Humanities Grant Programs for Mid-America Arts Alliance. My intention today is to offer a brief overview of Mid-America Arts Alliance and our programs, particularly the Artistic Innovations Grant Program. Mid-America Arts Alliance is one of 6 nonprofit regional arts organizations in the country. Each regional arts organization offers a variety of national and regional programs. The programs our sister regional arts organizations offer are multifaceted and could take us considerably off topic today, so instead I recommend you spend time on their websites and join their email lists for the latest news about their programs. Keep in mind that some programs the regional arts organizations offer are regionally based, which means you may not be eligible for consideration sometimes simply because you do not live in their regional service area. That being said, each regional arts organization does offer at least one national program for which you or organizations you work with may be eligible. Mid-America Arts Alliance was established in 1972 with the intention of being a cultural change maker, drawing attention to the Midwest as a destination, not just flyover country. Within a matter of years, the National Endowment for the Arts led the charge to create 5 more regional arts organizations that would serve the rest of the country. Mid-America Arts Alliance's mission is to strengthen and support artists, cultural organizations, and communities throughout our region and beyond. We are especially committed to enriching the cultural life of historically underserved communities by providing high-quality, meaningful, and accessible arts and culture programs and services. In essence, our core purpose is more art for more people. Over the years, Mid-America Arts Alliance has had the pleasure of working in partnership with all 3 federal arts and culture agencies, including the Institute of Museum and Library Services, the National Endowment for the Humanities, and the National Endowment for the Arts. Mid-America also maintains partnership agreements with 6 state arts agencies that we commonly refer to as our region. This includes Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Texas. While federal arts and culture agency programs are available nationwide, state agency programs are typically available only to those that reside or are incorporated in its respective state. Like our sister regional arts organizations, the federal and state agencies maintain websites and email newsletters about their programs as well, so please check them out. Currently, Mid-America offers resources and services across 3 program divisions: Arts and Humanities Programming, Professional Development, and Arts and Humanities Grant-Making. The Arts and Humanities Programming Division includes Mid-America's national touring exhibitions. Mid-America's 2 touring exhibition programs, Exhibits USA and NEH On the Road, are available for any small and mid-sized venue in the country. The exhibitions are of varying size and scale and are hosted for 5, 7, and 10-week terms. Each exhibition is ready to install and comes with a variety of resources, including ancillary educational materials and additional programming grants. All exhibitions are also heavily subsidized, especially for our in-region venues, with some rental fees as low as $1,000. EUSA focuses on fine art exhibitions that are curated, created, and then routed across the country by my colleagues. And the NEH On the Road program is just that. National Endowment for the Humanities exhibitions scaled down for touring to small and mid-sized museums while maintaining the overall integrity of the original larger exhibition. If you find yourself in Kansas City of a First Friday, when we often have one of these exhibitions on display in our Culture Lab and convening space. So that's the Arts and Humanities Programming Division. Next up is Mid-America's Professional Development Programs, which include Artist Inc. and Engage. Both professional development programs work across all creative disciplines to help organizations and individual artists better understand and implement standard business practices. These programs involve on-site consultations, networking, peer mentoring, topic expert presentations, and hands-on learning opportunities. Artist Inc. has been in place in Kansas City for nearly 10 years. As a program of Mid-America, it has blossomed across the region. This year alone, the program will take place in 8 different communities, and this artist-focused professional development work is catching the eye of some pretty significant funders with specific intentions, such as the Walton Family Foundation, who are working closely with Mid-America to offer additional resources to artists in Arkansas. The Engage program has been underway in Houston for 3 years, offering support to small and mid-sized arts organizations in the areas of governance, finance, and community engagement. The program has launched in Kansas City in just the last few months. Last but not least, Mid-America Arts Alliance offers 2 grant programs, Artistic Innovations and the Regional Touring Program. All 6 state agencies in the Mid-America region maintain touring or teaching artist rosters. These state arts agencies also offer grants to their respective arts and culture organizations in support of booking these touring and teaching artists. Mid-America Arts Alliance builds upon these state programs through the Regional Touring Program grant by supporting what we affectionately refer to as interstate trafficking of in-region artists. The Regional Touring Program grant is available for organizations across the region who book in-region, out-of-state artists. Mid-America gives preference to projects involving artists who are listed on their respective state arts agencies' rosters by underwriting up to 50% of those artists' contract fees. If an in-region artist is not listed on a state roster, this grant opportunity will underwrite 25% of the artist fees. This is a great example of a Regional Touring Program grant project that took place in Springfield, Missouri, where Drury University faculty created a multimedia exhibition called Life Interrupted: Art for Social Change. They used the Regional Touring Program grant art opportunity to bring Core Performance, a dance group from Texas, to create a performed response to the exhibition. The Artistic Innovations Grant Program encourages the spirit of experimentation and exploration by supporting most direct costs related to the creation and premiere of new original works. These works by in-region artists bring new original in-person experiences to audiences across the region and ultimately raises the visibility of or leverages new opportunities for the applicant. Eligible applicants include individual artists or organizations who are not current recipients of an Artistic Innovations grant. More specifically, the organizations must be a nonprofit 501c3 tax-exempt organization, a unit of state or local government, or a federally recognized tribal entity. Individual applicants must be at least 21 years of age, have a Social Security number, a resume demonstrating at least 3 years commitment to an artistic discipline, and all applicants must have lived in or been incorporated in the Mid-America region for at least 3 years. And finally, that you're still in good standing with Mid-America and all federal agencies with your paperwork and documentation. An applicant can submit only 1 letter of intent in any given fiscal year. Eligible Artistic Innovations projects must include 2 public-facing events, at least 1 public premiere of the project, in conjunction with at least 1 outreach event during the grant period. The outreach activity is an integral part of the project and should show evidence of thoughtful planning and implementation, building a greater appreciation for the new work. The project can include a combination of creative disciplines across various formats, from performance to exhibition, to film and media, including publications, lecture demonstrations, or workshops. A project can have only one letter of intent submitted in any given fiscal year. Individual artists and organizations can request up to $15,000. There is a one-to-one, dollar-for-dollar match for this grant money. Organizational recipients must match the grant with cash, whereas individual artist applicants can meet this match through a combination of cash and in-kind contributions. A great artistic innovations project has first-hand experiences of art, art making, or artists at the heart of the initiative, and it introduces a new or original idea or product to the audience. The project must exclusively engage artists who reside in Mid-America's 6-state region, and the project must take place in Mid-America's 6-state region. This past year, fiscal year 2018, Artistic Innovations recipients received a total of $234,746 across all 6 states, and you can see that awards were made across all disciplines, including dance, film, music, theater, and visual art. Now, I'd like for us to switch over to Mid-America's website and walk you through where to find all the information that you will need in order to apply and submit a letter of intent. So here is Mid-America's website. The call for letters of intent is currently available, and it will close on Monday, October the 15th, 2018. I encourage you to review the guidelines that can be found by clicking through to grants from any of our web pages. And once on the grants page, you'll find the link to the Artistic Innovations on your right. As I mentioned, both organizations and individual artists can apply for funding through this grant program, so you will find 2 sets of guidelines available on our website. Here's our Artistic Innovations grant page. There's the criteria and eligibility that we've already gone over, and what the eligibility of the projects must be. And here at the bottom of the page, how to apply individual artist applicants as well as organizational applicants. And again, you can see Monday, October 15th, 2018 is the deadline for letters of intent. Be sure that you're referring to the right grant guidelines depending upon the kind of applicant that you are. When you click on the guidelines link for individuals, it will come up and look like this. For organizations, it will look like this. They look very similar, but you'll see at the top of the page, they are quite different as far as what it says there. Organizations, individuals. But if you scroll down, you'll come to find on the 3rd page how to apply, and there is your link to get to the grant application. This one is for individuals, and for organizations, again, page 3, how to apply. There's the link. Beyond the link, you'll find a checklist of all the information that's needed in order to complete the letter of intent. It is approximately 20 questions long. It is the first step in the Artistic Innovations proposal process. We at Mid-America want to make sure that before you spend concerted effort on creating a proposal, that the project in question fits the general criteria. So first, we ask questions about the applicant. Who's in the region? Are you an eligible applicant? The funding for this grant program derives primarily from the National Endowment for the Arts, which means we are required to ask for and verify demographic information, including congressional and state legislative information. If you are an organizational applicant, you will find that we are also asking for the EIN and DUNS numbers. Sometimes it's also the Data Universal Numbering System ID number. If your organization does not have a DUNS number, you must take the time to apply for one through Dun & Bradstreet. Just plug in the letters DUNS in any internet search engine and it should take you right there. Applying for a DUNS is free, but can take up to 30 days to be assigned, so plan accordingly. If you think your organization has a DUNS, but you aren't sure, you can look up your DUNS number on that same DUNS website. And if you find that you don't have a DUNS and the deadline is upon you for the letter of intent, please let me know. I don't want that one detail to keep you from submitting a letter of intent, so let's discuss your options. Again, the EIN and the DUNS information is only required of organizations who are applying for this grant. Last in the applicant section is the applicant's mission statement, or for artists, it would be the artist statement. I often get questions from individual applicants about what an artist statement is. It is generally 3 to 5 sentences describing the how, the what, and the why behind your creative endeavors. This is not the project description. The project description comes later in the form, as you can see. Instead, the mission statement for organizations or the artist statement for individual artists offers just enough information to the reader so that they can imagine the work that you do without being right in front of that work. You will also see that the letter of intent form asks individual applicants for their resume so that we can definitively see your creative work history, which better informs the staff reviewers of your eligibility to apply. Following the applicant information, we ask for project information. Here we ask about the project's primary discipline. This might be the same as the applicant's primary artistic discipline asked for in the applicant section, but it can be very different if the project is the kind that takes your work in a new direction or is heavily influenced by other collaborators. Speaking of collaborators and partners, they are not required for this project. However, many projects do take advantage of developing new relationships, so if that is the case with your project, you have a chance to describe who you are working with and how you decided to join forces when you answer questions about individual artists and organizational partners. And last but not least, let's talk about money. What is the total project budget? And what is the grant amount that you are requesting? Keep in mind that all projects required a dollar-for-dollar match. So if you are requesting $5,000 from Mid-America through this grant, then the overall budget for your project must be at least $10,000. A more detailed itemized budget will be required if and when you are invited to submit a proposal. Let's take a moment to click through now to the actual letter of intent form. So if you were to click on the link taking you to the application, for individuals, it will say individual at the top of the page. And for organizations, it says organizations at the top of the page. You'll also see that you can save your information as you progress through the form. So as you are filling in the various fields and you find that you need to step away, you simply click Save My Progress, fill in your email address, create a password for yourself, and confirm it. Please be sure that your email address is spelled correctly because it will send you an email to that address with a link to come back to your most recent form with all of your information saved in it. But if you fill in the wrong email address, the information will not make its way to you and you won't have access to your form. Should that happen, please let me know and I should be able to get you access to your form, but it just slows down your process. So you click that button. Be sure to take note of that password because you will need it. And be sure that you understand that every time you save your form, you will be sent a new email with a new link to the latest version of it. So be sure to be using the most recent email that has the link to your saved or draft form. So you see here at the top of the application, the letter of intent form rather, you can upload a cover letter if you choose. And then you see a place for applicant information. Again, there's the artist statement that we've mentioned previously, and there's a place to upload a copy of your resume. For those of you who may not have a current resume at hand, we give you an opportunity to offer a brief narrative about your background or creative history so that we can determine your eligibility. I do recommend you take some time to create a resume, at least for inclusion with your proposal, as a panel will appreciate having that for reference. Organizational applicants will find that their form also starts gathering contact information. And the information where the form also requires your Dunn and Bradstreet information following your congressional districts. Moving on down to the project information, we're looking for broad details about the project. Keep in mind that staff at Mid-America will need to see described at least 2 kinds of activities that engage the public in person, one being the premier featured event or opening of the work, and the other being some sort of outreach activity. There can be public-facing events, but we ask that you designate at least one as a premiere or opening, and at least one other event that is the outreach, something that allows the audience to come away with a deeper understanding of the new work that they have or will experience. The remaining questions in this section have to do with the key personnel that are involved or other partners you might be working with to make this project a reality. Again, like I said, partners are not required, but organizations will need to offer information about at least one artist who is involved in the project. Before I draw this to a close with a review of the grant program timeline, let me draw your attention to the kinds of projects that are not eligible for consideration, which are noted on page 2 of the call for letters of intent. Page 2, project eligibility. Here we are. Not eligible for consideration. Mid-America cannot underwrite projects that engage audiences solely through online streaming sources. Mid-America's funding is derived from the National Endowment for the Arts, who expect funding to be used to create opportunities for the general public to experience art or interact with artists firsthand and in person. Adaptations and restaging or re-releasing of work is not considered new or innovative. And last, we cannot award money for fundraisers or projects that are based upon an open call for entries. While those projects are important and do require investment, we are looking for projects that have where the artistic excellence and merit of those creating the new work can be seen based upon a history or a body of work that can be reviewed through work samples. So please keep that information in mind. Now I'm going to take us back over to the PowerPoint with the timeline. So here's the Artistic Innovations timeline. The letter of intent form is currently available. It is due at the stroke of midnight on Monday, October 15th. It being a Monday, I will be available until 5 p.m. to answer questions or concerns, but I make no promises to check email or voicemail after the close of business. It is my intention to review all letters of intent and email an update on the status of your letter of intent before Thanksgiving. In the guidelines, I say I will notify you by November 16th. I will do my best to uphold that, but that depends upon the number of letters of intent that we receive. If you're invited to submit a proposal, the request for proposals guidelines, the RFP, will be emailed to you, and I plan to offer another webinar in December or January for those that are invited to submit, and I will provide that information at that time when you receive that request for proposals. And that is the Artistic Innovation calls for letters of intent. Here is my email address and contact information. Again, the Mid-America website. My name is Christine Beil, Christine Dodderwick Beil. I welcome your emails, your questions, your concerns. Please reach out. Let me know what you're thinking, and we'll see what we can do for you. Best of luck, and I look forward to seeing what projects are in the works. Thank you.